Look around. You're working 40 hours a week, maybe more. You're paying your bills, sacrificing your free time, trying to save just a little bit of money. But at the very end of the month, you check your bank account and it is still practically empty. You feel that sudden panic hitting your chest. It genuinely feels like you are running on a treadmill made of money, sweating, exhausting yourself completely, but getting absolutely nowhere, no matter how hard you try. Society tells you it's just inflation, the economy, your bad luck. But what if I told you the financial system is intentionally designed to keep you stuck? You see, the truly wealthy don't just happen to have a higher salary. They operate on a completely different set of rules that you were never taught. While the middle class is desperately busy defending their fragile savings from taxes and expenses, fighting a losing battle with shields and swords every single day, the rich are effortlessly jumping over the massive invisible traps of consumer debt and high interest rates that grab the rest of society by the ankle. If you look closely, there are exactly 7 invisible money habits that are quietly draining your bank account right now, leaking your wealth drop by drop. You do them without even thinking. It feels completely normal because everyone else is doing it, but it's a fast track to destroying your financial future. But today, we are going to expose every single one of them. We will drag these 7 toxic habits into the light so you can finally see them. And more importantly, I will show you exactly how to fix them. We will rebuild your financial machine piece by piece so it actually works for you. So you can finally step off that exhausting treadmill, take back control, and start building real, quiet wealth. Let's dive right into the very first habit.
This brings us directly to the third trap, and it is probably the most socially accepted wealth-destroying habit in the modern world. I am talking about the car loan. Society has convinced you that having a monthly car payment is just a normal part of being an adult. But let's look at the brutal math. The average person spends more money on their car over their lifetime than it would take to achieve complete financial independence. Think about that for a second. Between car payments, insurance, routine maintenance, and gas, most people are dropping $600 to $800 every single month on transportation. Over a 40-year period, that is easily $400,000 just to get from point A to point B. Meanwhile, these same people complain that they simply cannot afford to invest for their future. The moment you drive a brand new car off the dealer's lot, it loses about 20% of its value. You are not just spending money, you are actively destroying your own wealth. That monthly car payment might make you feel successful, and it might look impressive to your neighbors, but it is actually keeping you broke. When you start building quiet wealth, you filter every major purchase through the lens of opportunity cost. That $30,000 car isn't just $30,000. It is $30,000 that could have grown to over $200,000 in an investment account over 20 years. The person driving the flashy new car is probably stressed about money, while the person driving the older, reliable, paid-off vehicle is quietly building wealth and sleeping perfectly at night. The fourth habit isn't just a financial mistake, it is a psychological prison. It is allowing yourself to stay in pure survival mode. This is a trap that keeps millions of people broke, and they don't even realize it is happening. When you do not have a financial cushion, your brain operates in what psychologists call survival mode. Every single financial decision you make is filtered through fear and scarcity. You take the first job offer that comes along, even if the pay is terrible and the boss is toxic, because you simply cannot afford to be picky. You stay in situations you hate because leaving feels entirely too risky. You say yes to things you do not want to do because you desperately need the paycheck. When you are in survival mode, your brain literally cannot think about growth and opportunity. It's like trying to plan a luxury vacation while your house is currently on fire. Your mental bandwidth is completely consumed by immediate threats. But something remarkable happens when you finally break this habit and save up your first $10,000 or $20,000. Suddenly, your brain has the space to think differently. Instead of asking how you will survive until the next paycheck, you start asking how you can grow this money. When your car breaks down, it is no longer a financial disaster that ruins your month. It is just a minor inconvenience. You must stop making decisions based on financial panic and start making decisions from a position of absolute security, which leads perfectly into the fifth habit, obsessing over micro decisions. When you are broke, you obsess over every single tiny purchase. You stand in the grocery store agonizing over whether to buy the name brand cereal or the generic version. You stress over whether it's worth spending $3 on a coffee when you could make it at home. You calculate whether you should get the premium gas or the regular. These micro decisions consume massive amounts of your mental energy because every single dollar feels precious. But here's the truth that wealthy people understand. Sweating the small stuff will never make you rich. The difference between spending $3 on coffee versus making it at home is maybe $1,000 a year if you are really going overboard. It is not nothing, but it is absolutely not going to make or break your financial future. What actually matters are the big decisions: where you live, what you drive, how much you save, where you invest. These choices swing your net worth by tens of thousands of dollars over time. Instead of agonizing over whether to buy organic bananas, you need to focus your energy on optimizing your housing costs, maximizing your income, and making sure your investment strategy is rock solid. Free up your mental bandwidth for the strategic decisions that actually move the needle. The sixth habit, draining your accounts, is paying the invisible loyalty tax. Society teaches us from a young age to be loyal. Loyal to our employers, loyal to our banks, loyal to our insurance companies. But in the financial world, loyalty is almost always punished. If you stay at the exact same job for 5 years, you are likely making significantly less money than someone who switched companies 2 or 3 times in that same period. Corporations do not reward loyalty with massive raises. They reward new hires with competitive market rates. The exact same rule applies to your money. If you keep your cash in a traditional savings account at a big bank earning 0.1% interest simply because you've banked there since you were a teenager, you are paying a massive loyalty tax. Inflation is quietly eating your money alive while the bank profits off your deposits. Wealthy people have absolutely no emotional attachment to financial institutions. They move their money to high-yield savings accounts without hesitation. They switch insurance providers the moment they get a better rate. They leverage their skills to negotiate better salaries, or they walk away. You must treat your personal finances like a ruthless business. If a bank, a job, or a service is no longer giving you the absolute best return on your investment, you must pack up and leave. Finally, the seventh habit that guarantees you will stay on the treadmill is fundamentally misunderstanding compound effort. Most people give up on building wealth right before the math starts getting really exciting. Let's say you decide to save $1,000 a month and invest it. Getting to your first $20,000 requires serious discipline. It takes about a year and a half of sacrifice, delayed gratification, and saying no to things you really want. It's a slow, painful grind, and frankly, most people give up somewhere along the way. But here's the part that will blow your mind. Your second $20,000 doesn't take another year and a half. It takes significantly less time. Why? Because now you have that first $20,000 working alongside your monthly contributions, generating its own returns. You are doing the exact same amount of work, saving the exact same amount of money each month, but the timeline shrinks. By the time you reach higher numbers, the acceleration becomes almost comical. The money that initially took you 2 years to save is now happening automatically through your investments in just a few short months. People stay poor because they look at the first year of investing, see very little progress, and quit. Wealthy people stay wealthy because they understand that compounding is a game of extreme patience. The first milestone feels impossible, but every single milestone after that gets progressively easier. Escaping these 7 habits isn't just about becoming a penny-pinching miser who never enjoys life. It's about becoming deeply intentional with your money instead of letting it slip away on things that don't actually matter to you. The system wants you to stay on the treadmill. It wants you to stay in debt, stay stressed, and keep buying things you don't need to impress people you don't even like. But now you see the invisible traps. You know exactly what they are and how they work. The only question left is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to close this video and go back to your normal routine? Or are you going to start building your quiet wealth today? The choice is entirely yours. If this video opened your eyes, hit the subscribe button. Until next time, stay smart, stay disciplined, and keep building.